It's a Bitcoin podcast. The only one that's making your money is you. Listen to the Bitcoin podcast. So hold on and listen to the Bitcoin podcast.
Oh, Jesse's not even
Hey.
in here.
Welcome to the Bitcoin Podcast. This is episode number 390, the second of the lost episodes. Corey, we started that. Yeah. And, I'm the host of Talks First, D.
I am a secondary host, Dr. Corey Petty. You can call me DP. Jesse's coming in pretty hot.
And
There he
I'm the
is.
third
He had himself a
host.
drink.
Jesse,
Where'd you
bro.
get? Where'd you go?
I got a mango peach, like a mango Angry
Cool.
Orchard peach mango.
Cheers, buddy.
Nice.
I'm drinking some Corona.
Cheers. Coke Zero.
Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers. Cheers to us. So, welcome to the Bitcoin Podcast. This is your first time hearing the Bitcoin Podcast. Boy, are you in for a rude awakening. This isn't about Bitcoin. Hell, it's barely about podcasting. No. No. If you wanted to like, get back into a historical timestamps of what was going on in crypto, feel free to listen to the back catalog. There's plenty of episodes you'd enjoy. At one point, the price of Bitcoin is like $300.
There's 390 of them. Well, 289 of them. So we're making
Yep.
the 90th.
That's right. But if this is not your first time, you listened last week and the week before that, going back probably about, 6 months, you know we've been winding down on the Bitcoin Podcast as we transition into hashing it out. But anyways, we're going to get into some crypto talk here for you. Try and keep your mind off of what's going on in the market, because some of you right now, if you're listening to me from a dark room with no light on, and you're looking at just your phone and you're looking at just your Coin Market Cap account or whatever you use to look at your portfolio, you're probably wondering why you make the decision.
Kudos to those who are still listening to Bitcoin podcasts and like crypto podcasts at all, based on like pricing. There's just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people who are still listening, they're gonna be like, they're either like panicking, trying to figure out what to do, hoping to hear like we're gonna tell them like it's gonna be okay,
Yeah.
or they've been here a while and they've done this before.
Yeah. We can't tell you it's gonna be okay, but this isn't our first ride on this crazy roller coaster called crypto. Usually when it gets to feeling right like this is right when it kind of levels off and you get distracted with life, or if you're in the community, you're building on bigger projects, you can finally get back to the work because you're not like, man, I could spin up a unicorn coin clone real quick and just paint some metal on it. We'll call it metal. That happens every time. Corey, I mean, you could probably speak for it. How distracted do your colleagues and yourself get during super, super price spikes like the ones we've experienced the past like 18 months or so?
I guess the big price spikes add quite a bit of like additional, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, they take my attention away, because when the price spikes happen, it gets to a point where what I had set up in terms of a portfolio gets unbalanced, like really unbalanced.
Mhm.
And I need to figure out how to reallocate that appropriately so that like I'm being a good custodian of my own money and I can make good life choices. And when the prices are down, none of that happens. I'm just like, well, prices are down, I don't give a shit, I'm building. Like as it goes, as things grow and they get to the point where like things are unbalanced, then I need to I can make real actionable change in my life. I have to start planning for that type of stuff. And like if it gets real unbalanced, then like those plans are significant and take a good portion of my time. And so and then you're like, well, how do I like better leverage this? How do I set things up appropriately? And like when prices are low, you're just kind of like, I don't know, I'm accumulating things I think are important or interesting and see what happens later. But like when you have to use the money to like make change in your life, then it takes quite a bit of time.
I was
think a
talking
lot of
about
people,
like
I don't know. This is all HODL plus, right? This is
yeah.
were you not asking that question? Did I answer a completely different question?
Kind of. You answered a completely different question. What I meant was like when you're at work and you guys in the field that you're in, you're working with colleagues that have extreme talent. Like, the talent's not on the. It's basically like if you were on a pro football team level of talent. Like, you could play for any one of these 32 teams. You chose this one, right? So in times where there's a price spike and any one of those pro athletes is like, hell, man, I could just switch teams real quick. I could just make my own thing
that's
real
also
quick. I could just,
there's
you
two other
isn't
things that come into play based on what you just said. One is keeping talent.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So like
It's
that's a
the
really
distraction.
hard thing to do. It's like I manage people at this point. I'm not a developer anymore, and like when prices get high, people get real cocky
Fancy.
with what they're worth, and so hiring is very difficult because to hire the right person to do a very specific job, they're incredibly expensive. Or someone was willing to offer them, like, see, I've already hired them and they're doing a really good job. Someone's willing to hire that person for more than what you're paying them. And so like you actively have to try and engage people to be aligned with what you're trying to build from an ideological standpoint. And like not only offer them a salary that's like competitive, but also additional incentives that keep them invested in the things they're building and in the success of the things they're building. Because you don't have that, they can just be like a dead weight, kind of like passively contributing, waiting for that next opportunity. And the opportunities are rampant.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, from a different perspective, prices are going up. You have a stake, and you have a token associated with your project. You have a bunch of stakeholders, like people buying your token, asking you why token isn't moving as much as they think it should be. Or like, why aren't you doing this thing? Or like, I want this, make this happen. So you have such a larger engagement from the community associated with pricing. And not like, it's not as much aligned with what you're building and why you're building it. It's make token price go up. But why don't I have my token? Why aren't you doing the work to make the token price go up? And so like, you have to manage that too. And so like when prices are up, the amount of triage and active management you have to do as an organization drastically goes up with it. Takes away from your ability. That's why like the mantra is like, when it's a bear market, you build, because you don't have these extra detractors from doing the mission statement of whatever your project is.
From a security standpoint, like how do you triage? Like what does day to day look like when things are booming and you get a lot of wind moon?
Well, I don't give a shit about wind moon. Like they can go fuck themselves. I really don't care.
But like, bro, wind moon.
How does security get impacted as the price goes up?
Security gets impacted because of the way risk shifts with price. So like what may be set up as like a, I don't know, low security wallet that handles bounties within an organization that's managed by a few people, and prices go up and that becomes something that's substantial and changes someone's life. The risk profile of those who can manage that wallet goes up with it. And if you're not watching those things, then someone can take a bunch of money and walk away. So like internal threats become an issue. The pricing of individual features become an issue if like someone can game it and the economic part of gaming it wasn't worthwhile in early pricing. There's a lot of things that can change when pricing goes up because risks change as price goes up.
So like when you're saying to the end that you're saying like the money becomes worth it to somebody like internally then to like steal it?
Anywhere. Like internal threats are a real thing. Like rug pulls are real.
Yeah. How do you
I
risk?
always
do you
think
risk invest
inside
for that?
job. Anytime. Inside job. That's my first place.
Like, how do you threat model that? How do you threat model the internal like risk of like money go up and people get, like they want to rug it?
You need to know who has access to what funds, and you need to watch, and then you need to think about like under what circumstances can these funds be pulled out, and then think about why someone would do that, and what is the consequence of someone walking away with this money. And if the financial consequences are commensurate to the benefits of doing it, then they're more likely to do it. You have to, and that's so situational that you just have to think about it all the time.
Did you think about it all the time?
Yeah. Why do you think I got out of security? It's hard to think about that.
like, oh, Bob from accounting could take the bag for, I don't know, bounties.
It's depressing to actively think about the people you care about and trust in shitty scenarios, or just like
Interesting.
every single week someone comes to you and says like, hey, guess what else you need to worry about? This 0-day threat that's going to take all your users' money. Like, like it's
Did you
depressing
ever,
over a long period of time.
Did you ever think of strategically placed laser pointers? Like, if somebody gets out of their car in their driveway, like a laser pointer from like 1,000 feet away just points at their chest, and it's like, what is that? Oh my god, am I being sniped right now? Like, just give them like constant threats.
A little bit of like,
yeah.
I'm watching. It's fine.
Just a little,
D,
like, take them to one.
You like D is the surveillance machine. Like,
I'm saying, like, there's other things you could
I'm
do
watching
outside
you.
of the box. Is like take them to lunch with like your Russian friend that wears tracksuits, and like, who's this? And he's like, oh, that's just Vladimir. Don't worry about him.
I'm
And
pretty
he
sure
just
that's
sits
racist.
What if
and
he
eats.
became a
Is
security
it racist?
engineer?
I don't think that's so.
Do you think that would be interesting?
It's not racist. It's sensitive.
If D
because
was a
Russia's-
security engineer,
Yeah. Imagine if D was like a
I would.
CISO.
It would be hilarious. It would also he would also get fired immediately.
Yeah, I would do some ethically questionable things. Jesse, I guarantee you, I would.
It would make for
I
good
would-
storytelling.
Yeah, I would be like, have you ever seen that movie Jackal, Jesse?
No.
Well, there's a movie Jackal where Bruce Willis plays an assassin. That's where the story started.
Okay.
And then he's got a remote control 50 caliber machine gun in the back of vans that he drives around. And,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I would do somewhere in between legal and that is where I would, be as a security officer.
So what?
Tripod, tripod machine gun.
Yeah,
Back
tripod
to that.
machine guns.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, the best security on the planet still is like super big, strong dudes that walk around with you, and like security, like
Yeah.
security
Corey's like no.
I mean, yeah, like the
Like
for
juice
a
attack is a real thing.
For a person.
for like a real person. So like this
For a
surround
real person,
people that
yeah.
have
For a real
the
person, yeah, you
keys.
need a security detail. Like, if you
Yeah.
look at any of the successful founders in projects,
Yeah.
they have a security detail, even if you don't see it.
Yeah. But like, are the best security details not the ones that are like big, huge dudes and they're like little tiny people?
Nah, you want big,
No?
huge.
No, you need big people.
Why
Okay,
would you
never
want
mind.
that? Like, you
I
want,
don't
like,
know.
what, give me like an example of this. Like, you want like
Oh,
the
he said
kids
like
from
unsuspectful, like somebody. No, sorry, not unsuspectful, not suspicious. Like you'd never think it's a security guy.
Yeah,
and
you
then
know,
you're
like those people.
inconspicuous.
Yeah, exactly.
inconspicuous. Not me, man. I want the largest security guys ever. Did you see what happened to the guy that tackled Dave Chappelle?
Yeah,
Did you see
yeah.
it?
Dude's
His arm was
the
like
other way.
turned the
Yeah.
other direction, and
Like
he's
your
sitting in
arm
the
is supposed to
gurney.
bend this way, but his arm bent the other way.
Yeah, like
I'd rather
they
people
beat
not
him.
know that I'm successful.
Yeah,
I
that'd be
mean,
nice.
everybody
Let's just
would,
do
but
that.
sometimes you just can't control it, man.
I was
Sometimes
actually
people
talking about this. Like,
do
what
things.
we're building, there's a chance that I become successful at status.
No, you're not.
I was like,
You-
Aaron, we
you
may
won't
have
be
a security
successful.
detail.
You just tell you tell yourself, and then you tell
Oh, it's a
everybody.
big
No.
failure. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
big failure. And I have nothing to do
It,
with
it
it.
all failed.
Don't worry about it.
And then they show you the price on their phone. Like, are you sure though? But
I
are
have
you
nothing to do
sure
with that. I get screwed out of all the tokens and I got nothing. Sorry.
Crazy.
But you
story.
literally keep talking about it. Like, it's-
You don't see me eating this peanut butter jelly sandwich with Wonder Bread.
That's,
All right.
that's some real shit, though. Yeah.
Anyways, sorry, we're gonna have a moment of silence for those of you that are really going through it with the market. Look, we're sorry, but this is crypto. I can tell you this: if it
at the
makes you
same
feel any better,
time, we've been preaching.
All
that
Yeah,
plus,
we're like
you,
three
don't, you don't
podcasts.
put money in, you can't lose. This is why.
yeah, man. Like
If you
this-
need the
there's a-
money, it shouldn't be in crypto.
until there's a world where like you're walking down the street just paying for shit in Bitcoin, and it's not some stupid little card with that's really not even Bitcoin at all. It's just Visa making their cut off of Bitcoin in a very slick and smart way.
You get
which
4%
you can expect them to
in
do.
in XRP on that.
I don't know. Maybe
Is that what the card is? Okay, never mind.
it's one of those cards. There's so many cards.
Yeah, there are.
Since
There are a
the
lot of
internet
cards.
knows me as me, like all I get are advertisements for dumb crypto products all day, every day. There's like 8 different cards. Matt Damon, I see Matt Damon all the fucking time, all the time.
I hear that
used
most of
to
those
enjoy it.
cards, like APYs or APRs or whatever they are, whatever benefits you get from them, are like going down substantially,
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Yeah.
reasonably, because prices are going down substantially. Like,
Hey,
what
the
is
music
it?
is stopping,
Prices are-
right?
to be honest, I have
Yeah.
no idea what prices are. I literally don't know. I've looked at them in over a month.
Let me tell you
They
something.
went
It's not
they went
good.
down, Corey.
I just
If
all I
you
know
were
is
went
they're
down.
down. That's the only thing I know.
flat, yeah.
I'm afraid. I'm kind of afraid to look. To be
Do you want?
honest.
Yeah, everybody's
You
like,
want-
crypto's over, guys. Pack
Doesn't
it
make a
up.
difference. I bought a
Put your-
house. I took what out. I took out what I needed at the top.
Put your head in the sand, bro, and just ride
It's
this one
fine. I'm
out.
gonna keep. It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna keep like. I guess when I'm making like when I'm buying more because I buy every month, it looks a lot bigger.
Yeah. That's gonna be when you're gonna be happy. Is at the end.
But I haven't done that in a few months. So I just got a stack that I of dye that I need to allocate to.
What if it goes down? What if
tokens.
DAI is the next
Might wanna,
target
like,
after UST?
Ooh, if you like UST, like I don't think UST was a sketchy mechanism.
Yeah.
DAI was like there's someone who talked about this. I forgot who it was.
a sketch.
I was like, why don't we praise sketchy mechanism? It's the name of a band in high school.
sketchinism?
Sketchiness. It's like why don't we praise the like simple token economic games, like mechanism design? Because like DAI is simple. I mean, relatively speaking,
It's pretty simple.
and it's
Don't listen
stable.
to the-
Well,
yeah.
so far, like UST just took a massive shit, and
So,
it's the reason why everything's down. Like at
I
least
actually
like,
want to elaborate. Go ahead. Though. Damn, bro. Hold up. There's
it's a
lot going on
contributing
here.
factor. Mute your shit. It's a contributing factor to why everything is down, and if not the main factor. And like DAI's stable. Like I'm not going to say it's going to remain stable, but
poke it? Can you
it's
make DAI
remained
not
stable so
stable?
far. What?
Can you poke it in such a way that it gets drained like UST?
I don't know, but like the
No.
simple mechanisms, it's
Yeah.
easy to reason about what can happen.
Yeah.
And the more complex the mechanism is, like how many different variables are in play,
Yeah.
like exponentially, it makes it exponentially more difficult to model and reason about what can happen and create a black swan event.
So was UST really complicated in terms of how
I have
it
no idea. I
stabilized?
know it's way
Me
more
neither.
complicated than DAI, but
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I don't know the complexity of these algorithmic stable coins.
I know this.
I need to look at them because it's something we're building requires some stability.
Right.
So like, I'm gonna learn from this pretty hard.
Yeah.
I'll come back to you
Yeah.
with more.
Yeah.
I think the hilarity of it is not hilarity. This is no different with currencies that exist. Right? It's just like crypto is learning the lessons really, really, really fast. I think that's why like old people kind of like laugh at crypto in the crypto community because they're like, huh, oh, you're gonna learn that one tough, and oh yeah, that's a great idea, young whippersnapper. Hope it works out for you. Because I think they kind of learned these things. Like right now, economists are talking about, man, how do we avoid the inflation of the 70s? It looks like it's creeping back up on us again, where
Mhm.
we might as well be walking around with toilet paper, right? Like I feel like in the entrenched economy, not the crypto economy, these lessons have been learned. Like the dollar changes value. All these
I mean,
currencies,
people are worried about like 10% inflation every year, like from like realistically speaking.
yeah,
in
and
US dollar.
and so you know when
You
you
talking
take
about
all
they're
that,
starting to make business bets from 10% inflation year over year? Is that what you're
dude,
saying?
there's
Huh?
I think there's business bets on
What did
like,
you say, Corey? I'm just curious.
People that
The-
I know are
Yeah.
actively worried about the reality of 10% inflation in the US
Yeah.
dollar year over
So
year.
they're starting to like base that, like factor that into their business bets.
I don't know what they're doing about it. I just know that
Okay.
they're actually actively worried about it, and it was a big part of like shit's fucked, not getting better real anytime soon.
Interesting. Okay. Huh.
I
It's
don't
not
think
like
anybody's
only crypto's down, like the entire world economy
I
is
know.
down,
I know. I'm looking
except for
at,
maybe housing. But like maybe that's like a also like part. It doesn't. It looks like it's propped up
There's a
because
bubble.
everything else is rising.
there's a bubble in the housing market, and that one's going to get popped probably as well.
Like in Texas, it's like what is it, $200 per square feet for construction right now?
Yeah.
that doesn't sound right at all.
And
I don't know, man. I think that I think there's a lot of terrible things going on in all markets all around the world, and it just looks pretty rough. I don't know. I feel like I've said a lot on the show. I hope if we don't blow ourselves into oblivion, this crypto stuff's gonna be baller. But, but
That's kind of the weird part. Like building its status isn't necessarily like financially like most of what you see being built, if not all of it. I mean, I can think of maybe one or two instances where this isn't the case, is financially driven. It's like DeFi. Like we're optimizing for DeFi. That's what's taken over.
Mhm.
And what we're building isn't that. So it's exciting to keep building what Status and Logos is building, and think about how that maybe enables like communities to be built and operate better than they could beforehand. But I hope we can make it there. Like it's like
Yeah, it's to me, it's very funny because what is Andreas Antonopoulos used to say, money is the obvious first use case. Yes, I agree. Finance, maybe not the obvious second use case.
when you have money,
Maybe-
when you have like
maybe.
permissionlessness, you're not going to stop finance. That's the thing,
Yeah,
right?
it's like it's not, and it's oof. I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of people learning.
There's always going to be. It's always going to be there. It's not going to go away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of people learning a lot of lessons right now, but there's still, I think I'm very proud of. Ethereum seems to not be dropping nearly as rapidly as everything else. It's dropping. Don't get me wrong, but it's not dropping nearly as fast. Avalanche was holding steady until I think this Binshi stuff going on.
Binshi, how do you say that?
I think
think it's
he's
been-
right.
I think it's
she. I think
been she.
QI is she. Yeah.
Sounds way more
Yeah.
appropriate.
But Binshi, apparently something's going on with that this morning. I don't know. Every morning it's like the opposite of Christmas morning. What do you
UST
call
had
that? It's,
had reserves in Avalanche, and apparently
that's what
that's
happened.
so they're dumping that to keep it stabilized.
Yeah, they're
Got it.
dumping.
So,
So like,
so
yeah, I
Alvex
guess USD
might
is dumping
pop
all the
back
Avalanche
up.
they had.
So Alvex might pop back up when they're done liquidating all this UST.
I think that I'm just speculating here. It's going to be a few months before everything comes back.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while. I think. Well, one of the things that happens is the bear markets either they feel longer or are longer each time.
No, bro. The 2017 bear market lasted like 3 years.
Well, yeah. Yeah, that's true. But the one before that was 2013, right?
It's supposed to get longer, right? It
Yeah,
dilates.
it's 2000. It was 2013. In 2013, Mount Gox happened, and that's when I watched my little Bitcoin go from like $1,000+ per to $200, and I was like, "Oh, this is
So
And
do you guys
most of the
subscribe-
people that I've seen on Twitter like talk about price is like, or like we've been here before. Is like I watched my $1,500 Ether drop to like $90.
Yeah.
So like,
Mhm.
I'm like whatever.
we're
I'm
old.
dead inside. I'm already
We're
dead
old.
inside. This isn't a problem.
Yeah.
I'm already
Same.
I look. It's what's crazy is we're
You
dead
want to
inside.
drop 90%? Come at me, bro. You wanna
Here's the
drop
thing that's
90% today?
the double-sided blade of on-ramping people and becoming and trying to educate people in crypto and then them eventually taking the leap is that although you're dead inside, they are not.
They're not.
And you can see I'm looking in their eyes and they're like, bro,
Especially if they're like on ramp and
What
things,
did
like, in
you
the middle
do
of the
to
market,
me?
like, look, it's up. I'm worth more money now. Oh shit, I'm smart. And it goes down. And they're like, what did you make me do? Where do my
why
money
have
go?
you done this? You did this to
Why-
me.
Wait,
You-
yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think I did. I educated
Where
you
money
on it.
go? Where money
Where'd
go?
money go?
I think you have to
Yes.
like jump into crypto with the mindset that like money is fake.
Where
You know,
money go?
Dude, what?
That's how they look at me. But where money go? I'm like, oh
Yeah.
no, I don't know to tell
I
you.
still got
Hang in there.
like chickens and roosters and
Damn, you guys
Yeah,
are
I
fucking
mean,
strong with that.
I always bring it back to the fundamentals, and I feel like if the fundamentals have changed, it changed in such a way that maybe GPPs can never find the fundamentals again. But by fundamentals, I'm talking about like Bitcoin mining is all-time highs. Like it bounced back from that, the biggest drop it ever had, and
Oh,
now
you
it's
talking
like
about hash rate?
Yeah, the hash rate is like almost the hash rate is like almost twice as high as it was
Interesting.
before it dropped down. So I'm
so
like,
that correlation of like hash rate to price is no longer the case.
it's definitely blown the fuck out of. It's not working right now. That's for damn sure. So,
Interesting.
but the reason why to pay attention to hash rates and especially Bitcoin's hash rate is because if that goes down, then there ain't no Bitcoin, no security, none all the shit that Bitcoin's built
Yeah,
on.
I would also argue that the security of Bitcoin is overly secure compared to the value of what it provides.
Very true. Very true.
So it could drop substantially and still provide the same level of utility without having nearly as much mining behind it.
Very true. But what is
How do you come to that conclusion?
Excuse me.
Like, are you just looking at economic, like, cost of attack?
Yeah, economic cost of attack
51%.
versus what value it's providing to the ecosystem.
I think what kind of value? Like just strict like how much it's worth?
Yeah, like what how I mean, if you look at it from like what utility it provides to various markets. So if we look at
Yeah.
like remittances and what percentage of that market it owns, which gives you a valuation of a given token price, right?
Damn. Yeah.
Like
you're
that's
right.
one way of evaluating it based on its market share of the utilities that it participates in. The amount it costs to break the network is massively outweighed by its utility in various industries.
Utility.
Do you have like a paper
Um,
on this that I can just look at?
Not off the top of my head. I'm sure it exists.
Yeah, just curious.
um
It was so much easier when you were just like, oh, I just want to co-opt it for like the block rewards, you know. And now it's like, oh, there's so much shit attached to it, like, you know, Bitcoin being bridged over, and maybe it has.
Yeah, bridges are the new juicy honeypot for attackers. That was what I took. So for those that don't know, me and Jesse were in Amsterdam and then Dubai last month, the end of like the second half of last month. And in Amsterdam, we went to the Trust X event, which was
Trust X.
Trust X. It was basically like I don't know, in my opinion, the best security event that ever happened in the Ethereum ecosystem.
It was really cool. Security people.
Hashing it out, sponsored, big deal. No big deal.
We did. We were on that. I saw it.
Yep.
Saw the logo up there.
I gave 4 talks at that event. Anyway,
that's right.
Like what I took away from all of the talks that I watched was that like bridges are the most vulnerable place, or like cost efficient and vulnerable place for attackers to go after. And it doesn't look good in terms of the horizon of like them getting any better or like less vulnerable so far.
What's the alternative to bridging? Go ahead, D.
Well, the way things currently work for most bridges, it's like first off, a bridge is moving one asset from one network to a different network. So like I'm gonna take my value in Bitcoin and bridge it to Ethereum so that I can use my associated value on Bitcoin on Ethereum in smart contracts, right? Typically that happens for like that type of differentiated network is I need to lock up my Bitcoin somewhere in the Bitcoin network. And then I need some nodes to watch for that to happen. And then mint something called wrapped Bitcoin on Ethereum that is a representation of the locked up Bitcoin on the Bitcoin network. So what that does is it basically like pretends that the Bitcoin can't be used on Bitcoin based on some trust assumption, and then has that value freely floating on Ethereum somewhere to be locked up in, you know, smart contracts or DeFi or whatever. So what you do when you bridge something is you lock it up and then pretend it can't be used. So when that gets hacked and it does get used, then you screw up a whole bunch of things. What you're doing in the process of using that bridge is you're pooling a bunch of funds in a single place, right? That's that contract that is basically saying like the funds in this particular contract are actually liquid somewhere else, and they're not supposed to be used here. And when you pool that many funds into a contract, you increase the risk associated with whatever can happen on there. So like if someone knows of a way to like find a vulnerability to that, they're going to wait until like the funds get big.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, all right, now it's worth it for me to break this whole thing and basically break the entire bridge and the economics of everything that was based on it. And so we've built not one, but like 20 different types of these things and just thrown billions at it across different networks of various ways. And hackers are like, this is fucking great. I have a bunch of new technology locking up billions of funds that isn't being monitored very well and being deployed too fast because, you know, we need to deploy fast.
Where money go?
Yeah. And so like that's what's happening. And it's wreaking havoc, and it's not going to get any better anytime soon.
So it's almost like Taylor was right.
Which Taylor?
Monahan.
Taylor,
Taylor
in terms
What'd
Monahan.
she
of
say? She's always right.
From
What'd she
My
say though?
Crypto. Oh, when she was basically like screaming from the mountaintops that like we can't just keep deploying unsecure shit. Like
Oh
she
yeah.
was like Ethereum is uniquely different in that Ethereum took a lot of time, a lot of care, a lot of research, and then it was boom, it was done, and it was pretty much set it and forget it, of course, except for the DAO, which we will not speak of
The
right
DAO
now.
wasn't an Ethereum issue. The
It
DAO
was-
was a smart contract issue.
Okay, yes, very true. My bad. It's a smart contract issue, but some of these other things built on top of Ethereum, and some of these other things that have been released is just like, oh, cool, it kind of works. Let it rip, and she gets
Welcome
upset
to the
because she's always
combination.
like, go ahead.
And welcome to the combination of hype and permissionlessness.
Yeah,
Anybody
I
can
mean,
do
I
whatever
get
they
it.
want, and there's a tremendous amount of hype behind it, and you can market and say whatever you want.
See, I again, I fall like those. That's why the elder investors laugh at crypto because it's like, oh yeah, we did that before. It's literally why the term snake oil salesman was invented, for that emotion, that situation you're going through where you have endless permissionless excitement and hype is what leads to crazy shit, and we put a halt to that. And it's like, oh man, they were right. They were kind of right, but I don't know. It's like we can't put the cookie back in the cookie dough packaging.
I guess. I guess that's a good way to analogy. We
That's
baked it.
that's where it went. You just gotta bake that cookie now. Cookie's out of the packaging. Anyways. Yeah, the bridges suck. I was gonna say, Jess, is that I never
Yeah.
feel more vulnerable in life in two scenarios. One is X-rated. The second is when I'm on a bridge.
like physically or using a crypto.
Yeah,
bridge?
like when I'm going across a bridge. Like if I were on the Golden Gate Bridge right now, I would be like a little bit like in awe
X-rated.
/ I mean, not that X-rated. You can find it on Pornhub, but like it's not like
That's
you know.
you can get some pretty deep. You can get pretty deep
Yeah.
on Pornhub, dude.
Yeah, I know. There's lots of tabs. Lots of tabs going on. But we're not going to talk about those.
You don't like bridges?
No, I love bridges. I
Yeah.
actually am
Like standing on the
fascinated
bridge.
by them. I have favorite bridges. Like
Yeah.
that bridge in Seattle is pretty dope. I'm a fan of the London Bridge. Golden Gate, not so much. It's
Mhm.
like I like the bridges. They're like they're fascinating to me, but you can't help but not feel extremely vulnerable. Like, damn, this is a crazy engineering feat, but man, do I feel like I could just fall into the ocean. Like I really
You feel like you can fall in. You don't feel like the bridges are like well constructed?
I know they're well constructed. I even know the science. Like I know
Yeah.
I took mechanics. I took that. I know it works. It's just
I have no
still
idea
in
how
my
bridges are built.
in
They're
my
like magic
gut
to me.
is it's like, ooh, man, this shit could just shear and then I'm in the ocean. That would suck. Right? Like
What about
I
heights?
don't know.
Like,
It's
are you
just
afraid of heights?
a little bit. Like I'm not a
Okay.
fan.
Yeah.
Like I'm not
Yeah,
gonna,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, jump out of a plane.
Do you like free fall stuff like at amusement?
Conversation's getting weird.
Sorry.
Yeah, it has gotten weird. It's got to really getting into my psyche of heights over here.
Tell me
I'm
about
not a fan.
your fascination of bridges, D.
Yeah.
I'm not. Let me tell you something. It's just my favorite kind of bridge.
Dude, I wish I had
Obviously,
some Cheetos.
suspension bridge. The way it just parabolically just balances the weight. I don't know, man. Bridges are fascinating, but I feel vulnerable on them. So if I take that analogy to crypto bridges, I haven't used them a lot. I haven't used them a lot at all because I'm like, golly.
I used one
and
it didn't go well. It got drained, and I was like, that's a bridge. Like,
You see any of the behind the scenes, and then like I think it was 4 weeks ago.
yeah.
And I don't think this is a bridge, but it had the same feeling. And that's when you're moving coins from the C chain to the X chain to the P chain.
Okay.
I didn't sandwich the transactions, meaning you have to export from one chain and import to another and sign both of those. Right. I only signed one, so the money gone. And I was like sitting on my computer and I was like, but where money go? And I kept refreshing it.
I remember
And
that
I was
you
like,
posted. Yeah.
yeah. And then I went
I was
into
like, I don't know what's going
instantaneous.
on.
I hit the Avalanche. We have an Avalanche support team in our Slack.
Yeah,
So that's
well,
another
1-800
reason why I
I
joined
lost
the
my
Slack.
shit.
How'd you do
They're
it? Because that's like automatic on the web wallet.
This is what happened. I signed the export transaction from the C chain, and then I closed my laptop. And then I was like, oh shit. So then I opened my laptop. I got distracted, right? Somebody came and closed my laptop. So then I opened my laptop again and I signed in.
Why'd you close your laptop?
Dude, like, I don't know. Like, so when somebody comes in the room unexpected and you're doing something like, I was at work.
You're doing a lot of sketchy shit. If your natural reaction is like, close the laptop.
Yeah, I mean, that's always my natural reaction. Close it. It doesn't matter who comes. Doesn't matter who comes in the room. Okay, close my laptop. What's going on? I learned my lessons from what's his name, the dude that's in prison now for the rest of his life, the young kid,
Ross Ulbright.
Ulbright. He didn't close his laptop.
Ulbricht.
Hey,
Ulbricht.
he didn't close his laptop.
And it's spelled
Look at him
Ulbricht.
now. And he should have fucking known better. He's in the public library. Close your laptop, bro. Even if you don't want to take a
Was
piss.
it a library? I
Close
thought it
your
was like a
laptop.
Starbucks.
Well, anyways, they got his ass. So, anyways, I closed my library. I mean, not my library. I closed my laptop.
Are you operating in dark web?
Yeah. And I open it back up and then I get in like, and I open my ledger again and like number go down. And I was like, oh shit, number went down a lot. What's going on here? And then I put it on all the chain scanners and I was like, I am broken. And so I hit up the Slack and they're like, breathe easy, bro. Everything's fine. Your money's just in the phantom zone. You've got to sign it out.
By the way,
phantom zone.
that happens way more often than you think it does. A lot of people are
Yeah.
like, hey, I think I just lost all my funds. And there's someone in Slack be like, no, you're good, bro. We got you.
Yeah. So that's
I know of that happening at least 4 times over the past month.
And so, which brings me to the point that I've been making for years, but now I'm just that guy that makes points that everyone sees are obvious, is that as crypto evolves, it gets more and more specialized and becomes more and more centralized, not in maybe tech, not in maybe messaging, but centralized in who has the knowledge and skills to really understand what's going on here and help people, which means that we're creating an industry at the end of the day, right? Because plumbing wasn't always an industry, but then somebody was like, look, I'm going to learn a shit ton about these pipes and then people are going to pay me, right? So now what's happening is an industry is being created where people are asking me questions like, hey, I literally got asked the other day, which hardware wall should I buy? Here's $400. And I was like, I will take that and I will tell you this. Thank you. Right? Like, I was like,
Nice.
that's
You don't just tell them
So-
like, here's a ledger. It's $70 or whatever, and then
no, I did that.
He's a
And I took the money.
businessman.
Okay.
And I took the money, Jesse. And I took the
dang.
money.
Okay.
Right?
I'm not used
So,
to that. I'm just like, here's right here.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
a
let me ask you
businessman.
this. Let me ask you
Yeah.
this, Jesse. If you knew how to lay bricks and somebody was like, hey, can you lay like 8 bricks over here for me? And you're like, man, you could just lay yourself. Here's $5. Go get some grout. Or
Yeah.
not grout. Go get some cement and da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
They're like, man, that's cool and all, but I'd pay you $5,000 to do it. Aren't you going to be
Yeah.
like, okay?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it really
You're like a
depends.
bricks laid, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it has to be made clear that like they really don't want to do it, and it's really like I'll do it, but like it's really like they could have done it. You know what I mean? And then once that is satisfied for me, like I know that they knew they could have done it, and I'm just doing it because they're
They're
lazy.
comfortable offloading that convenience to you.
Exactly. Like yeah. Then I'm like, all
Bro,
right,
dude.
there you go.
Yeah, you
Some
like,
jobs-
there is something about that I resonate with that. Unlike like my ethics dictate that I can't be manipulating somebody or like taking advantage of somebody in the process of taking money from them.
Yeah, I'd rather show them like, hey, you could have done this like DIY. Here's some videos. Teach yourself. If you don't want to do it, then I'll do it for you. Then, but or
Mm,
typically I don't want to do it because like it's boring because I don't want to do it either.
I see.
I mean, that
Have
is
I
that
ever-
is the like main business case for open source technology is
Yeah,
here, it's free. You can do it.
yeah,
If you don't want to, we'll do it for you for a price.
yeah.
But like
Corey, you've been
It's out in the
educated
open.
before.
what?
How many people you've been an educator before?
Yeah.
Arguably, still educate. I bet you spend a good amount of your days
totally
still in a
does.
year educating. But
Yeah.
as a paid educator at one point, how many people want to learn?
It depends on the
Hold on, let me
scenario
rephrase
that
this.
you're in.
How many people want to learn without exterior motivators being placed on them? How many people want to intrinsically just sit and absorb knowledge and learn new things?
Oh, a very small portion of the population.
I will say 20%. I will say that from having
I
taught
think
a
that's
lot
pretty
of people
generous.
and having a lot exactly having a
that's
lot.
generous.
So Jesse,
Here's the caveat
I like
to that, right?
learning. unless
Who
it's
wants
boring.
to learn something they're not passionate about?
Yeah. I hate learning things I don't care
Everyone
about.
will learn something they're passionate about.
Yeah.
But like, you got to get through life, and there's a bunch of shit you got to do that you're
Yeah.
not passionate about.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's where you offload things.
There we go. So
Yeah.
knowing that,
Like accounting.
maybe my 20% is generous, but since I know that there's an extremely low percentage of people that want to learn something new, I now approach the scenario with, okay, I'm gonna give you a bunch of tools. You're gonna pay me for my time.
Yeah.
Period. If you want to learn this stuff, learn it. It's on you. Don't care anymore. I've been screaming for a decade now about how you should care. You don't. So at this point in time, I'm going to teach you. I'm going to give you all these tools to learn, and you're going to
Yeah.
pay me for my time in kind.
Yeah. 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 That makes
That's
sense.
how I kind of feel
Yeah.
about it.
Remember like when Xboxes were modded so you could like have access to like, I don't know, like
I'm about it. My
an
Xbox.
internal hard drive with like a whole
Yeah.
bunch of free games, right? So like I remember there was a dude above me, like in the apartment I lived in, and he would charge like $150 to mod. And like that makes sense. Like if you don't want to DIY it yourself and you just want to like pay somebody else to mod it for you. But like the Xbox was like $300 and modding it was like, I don't know, like $20 in terms of parts and maybe like 30 minutes to an hour worth of labor. So like again, if I like disclaimers, like you could have done this yourself, but you're just that damn lazy that you're gonna have me do it for
The
you.
whole point, right? That's the whole point of what we're offering. We're not saying
Yeah.
like everyone should do everything. We're saying like
Yeah.
you have options to do it yourself if you want to, and then
Yeah.
you get to choose how you want to live your life. And
Yeah,
it's like right, and for a lot of the things in the world, people don't have options.
Yeah.
They don't get a choice to do it themselves. They have to offload that responsibility to somebody else.
I don't have a
Yeah.
choice to build my own smartphone because I don't live in Shenzhen.
Yeah.
So,
And like,
like-
you know what I mean? Like all we're doing in Web3 is giving people more options to take control over what they want.
Yeah.
And then making the decision to give that responsibility to someone else when they don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And then there's also tiers to that, Jesse, which kind of gets into, maybe this will help make your ethical decisions faster in the future, is there's capability, willingness, and time allotment.
Yeah.
Some people are capable, but just
Yeah.
not willing and don't
Yeah.
have the time.
Yeah. I totally
Right?
get that.
Some
Yeah.
people are incapable, are willing, and do have the time. So that's kind of maybe the person that's like, okay, you're not
Yeah,
capable,
okay.
you're willing, and you don't have the time, and you do have the time. Maybe I can teach you these things and lower my fee. I'll be a good guy here, right?
Mhm.
I'll lower my fee. I'll teach you these things because you want to
Yeah.
learn. Then there's people who are capable, not willing, and have a bunch of time. If they have a bunch of
Yeah.
time, those people you charge a lot because it's like, shit, man, you're not gonna sit here and waste my time with your time waste. You're not
Yeah.
gonna come over here and put your burden on me,
Yeah.
right? I'm gonna charge
Yeah,
you a
that
lot
doesn't
of
make
money.
sense.
I'm charging you a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
of money, so it's just to get you off my
That's a
back.
good graphic. You should make that bit should be animated. It's-
I think it should be.
That'd be a really good. And then you
Yeah.
could slap a disclaimer, and then you could scale it, and then you have other people that like provide the
Here we
service
go.
that you provided. Do you teach them?
This
And
will
then that
juice
could be
up the
like-
audience.
Yeah.
$100 in UST to the no, I'm kidding.
oh no.
$100 in ETH to the first audience member that gets an animated clip of my capability, willingness, and time allotment theory, the theory of D.
I'd even be happy with like a cutscene of like there may be animation. There seems to be graphics that show it.
Yeah, I mean, but that's how you gauge if you're a person who has like an invoicing structure of business where you're going to commit a bunch of your time and then send a bill for it. How do you put a value on that time is by using those three things to measure, right? And that's what's helped me, and I do okay. So, anyways,
Yeah,
we don't
you're-
talk
you're-
about crypto very much for you new Bitcoin listeners.
I mean,
But,
it's all been pretty peripherally Bitcoin and crypto.
Mhm.
How to think
What
about
do you
this stuff
What do you think
is
the next
difficult.
big thing disguised? What do you think the next big thing that's disguising an ICO is going to be?
communities.
Disguising an ICO. What do you mean?
So, okay, first there's ICOs in 2017. Those obviously, like maybe two of those worked. Then there was, and this is just a natural thing of business, by the way. Like people try shit, some of it works, a lot of it doesn't, right?
Yeah.
99% of businesses fail or something like that. Like that's a real statistic. Like people are starting businesses every minute. They're not gonna last. All right. Well, some of you will. Most of you won't. Back to the thing. Okay, so ICOs. Then ICOs was zapped. There's like 3 companies left, 4 companies, maybe more. I don't care too much. And then there's NFTs and DeFi, right? Like these new
Well, you know
things.
the like if you talk to like I'm gonna get ahead of your question. I think I know what you're asking. Like, what's gonna
Okay.
be the next thing on the next hype cycle? Is that
Yeah,
what you're asking?
yeah,
Okay.
that's what I was kind of getting
So-
to. What's the
so-
next thing on the next hype cycle?
So if you look at like if you ask the boomers that lived through the .com era,
Not investment advice.
if you ask them, right, like what was at the end, right? Because like we've gone through a lot of like, like the NFTs, the DeFi, the
We
DAO
lose,
stuff,
by the
and then
way.
we did this, and then now we're like doing this, right? So what's this? And typically it's like it's social stuff, right? That's the typical. That's the end game. That's when
The
that's
next
when you
one.
know
It's
the
the next hype
ecosystem
cycle.
matures.
The social stuff. So
Yeah.
okay. Oh,
I don't know.
can that
Maybe.
be transported?
I
to
see
different
like you're offering it's these things happen when you lower the barrier of entry and you allow people to do things that they couldn't do beforehand without understanding the fundamentals of the thing. There's like if you look at ERC20s, or ICOs, that happened because the ERC20 standard became available and you can mint a token without really understanding what's going on. And then there was hype around buying that token based on some promise that had nothing to do with the token. Right? Before that, you had to like understand the fundamentals of making a token so that you were more aligned with the actual project. So as you lower the barrier of entry, you make it easier for people to do stuff without understanding what they're doing, which allows you to take advantage of people. Same thing happened with NFTs. Same thing happened with DAOs and DeFi, as you like started cloning things like Uniswap and things like that, or like expanding on Uniswap. And so I would say if you want to look for the next thing that's like that, what barrier of entry are we lowering? That's going to make it easy for someone to copy and paste without understanding what they're doing.
Jess got a really good point though. Like
Facebook tried to launch like their blockchain for a reason, because that was going to be like the end game of crypto. Like they're going to co-opt crypto and be like embed that token in their messaging application.
Mm-hmm.
And then have the lawyers to jurisdictionally like be like, okay, let's make it operate in all the countries that we operate in. But they weren't able to do that. So somebody's going to come up and do that, I think. But in a way that like makes sense.
That's a very keen observation though, Jess, because I'm just thinking like of all the like tech advancements of the last century, maybe a little more than a century, maybe 120 years. And then like it really only started to gain that exponential traction when it became like something that allowed people to connect people. Like once that light bulb went off, it's like, oh, why do I need a car? That's lame. I got these horses. But then, oh shit, I
want to reach.
Yeah, it's like if I got a car, I can go further and talk to my family over like I don't know, however many. What do they measure stuff by then? Bushels.
End game is connecting people. That's the end game of any technology. Typically, it's like you want to bring people closer. That's the goal.
Yeah. And so like the telephone, probably saying like, why do I need a telephone? And then they're like, oh, I can just talk to this person for on the low, and I don't have to write them a letter because writing letters sucks.
Yeah.
And then like. So that's kind of a neat observation. If I like trying to tie that into crypto, the closest we've gotten is this NFT craze, but that not even really, because it's like, hey, I'll trade you my
people want to do crypto, but they want to do it with other people. And I think that whoever makes the UX, like whoever decreases the barrier of entry for people to connect with people and make it Web3, that's going to be the end game.
Yeah,
Communities.
It has to be.
Status.
This is subliminal information. Subliminal.
True, though. I mean, clearly we're making that bet, right? Like,
yes. I mean,
obviously. You go.
That's
Corey Petty talk, right? Like I talk about communities and social crypto quite a bit, and like Jesse is doing the same thing. And I say, like,
I'm not dog feeding us. I'm literally saying
you're not. But there's something to it, right? People want to spend time together and do this stuff.
Yeah, it's true.
Why is dog feeding the thing? Why isn't it like giraffe feeding? That's way too difficult.
You can call it giraffe feeding if you want.
It's like orangutan feeding.
Why is that the term?
I think it's because
like dog feeding an apple. Why is it? Why is that?
Because maybe you serve it
term
up
is
to a
believed
dog.
to have originated with Microsoft in the 1980s, although the term's true origins are debated.
Googling
The
this.
gist
I'm
is that
Googling
if
this.
the dog
just
food
did.
is of the high quality advertised to consumers, then it should be good enough for a person to eat as well. Eat your own dog food.
Did you already Google it? You faster than me?
Yeah, I already did. That's what I was reading from.
Jesse,
Techopedia?
like Google feeds directly into
You need to
Jesse's
you
glasses. I
need to
think.
get
I'm
that
pretty
keyboard.
sure he's ahead of the curve on like the Elon Musk brain implant. He already has one.
You know what's interesting?
Whenever you hear like, go ahead.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
I was just saying, like, if you're talking to Jesse and at any time you think you're hearing like what are those birds that fly
Dumb
really fast?
origin story.
A hummingbird?
Yeah, if you think you're hearing a hummingbird, you're not. That's Jesse typing something that you just said, and it's being Googled in real time.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna
was
challenge
that?
him one day to a typing contest, and he fucking blew me away.
No,
Pretty
no,
sure
I
he cheated, but it's fine.
No. I was only like 10 words per minute faster than you. Because in reality, like doing real sentences with like punctuation and capital letters, it's hard, and punctuation, semicolons,
You got,
weird
like,
shit.
lead speak.
Yeah, no, I can't. No.
Yeah. Whenever you're
not write
talking to
memos?
Jesse and you hear hummingbirds, he's Googling what you said in real time. So just know, just know
I'm
that.
absorbing it and I'm putting it into my brain.
Jesus, dog, relax. Just stop. Just relax. Okay,
Hey D, are you gonna have
So-
like a real setup soon?
dude. I'm 2 months out. They just put all the exterior trim on. Siding's
2 months,
been
huh?
delivered. Second,
Are you gonna have like
coating of
a
mud on.
studio? You gonna have like a whole space?
Bro, my office is as big as my living room is right now, and that's just
Oh yeah,
my
what are you gonna put
office.
in it? What are you gonna put in it besides your computer and microphone? You don't even have like a regular computer anymore, do you? You got a
I
laptop.
don't know. I'm gonna have to. No, my regular computer's in storage, but I have it. Right, I need to upgrade it.
I think it's old. Time for a new one.
It's 4 years old, right? So yeah, I probably will need to upgrade. I got like an $800 monitor for it, so I'm keeping that. But yeah, I'm
Got an $800 monitor?
Yeah, bro.
Is it like
One
a
of the-
fat curved one?
No. It's like a super good one though. It's one of the perks.
I got
like one.
$2,200 monitor. It's
Yeah,
No, that's not a monitor. That's a tablet.
It's
That's
not
like
a monitor,
drawing
it's a-
thing. Yeah, you're
a
cheating.
drawing
like
thing.
it's
Yeah.
it's I can't remember the name of it, but I'll show you whenever.
How
pull out
big
a
is it?
storage.
Is it like a TV that you're putting?
It's not big. It's
on your
like
desk?
27 inches. 27 inches.
Yeah, that's
You're
right. That's
paying
about right. It's a good
$800
monitor.
for a 27-inch monitor?
No, that's a good monitor.
Is
It's
it
a
a
really good
4K like
monitor, bro.
120 hertz?
Got a good
It's like
color
all
profile.
the Ks. It's
Okay.
it's a great
Huh.
it's a great monitor. And
Now,
then
do you have the GPU for it?
that I don't, right? But you're helping me
Yeah.
with that, right? You're gonna show me the
Okay.
right one to
I mean-
buy. And then
I can get you one at Micro Center.
and then
Are you next to a micro center?
I literally for
There's
security
nothing near me.
purposes,
There's like it's
He
like
said
300
for
miles. away.
security purposes.
there might be micro centers near me, but I'm not sure.
I'm pretty excited.
All right, let's wrap this up.
We're
Yeah.
real happy about it. All right, so let's do our typical thing here. We haven't done this in a while, so I'm a little
It's been a
rusty.
while. I forgot how to podcast.
I'm a little rusty here. Oh, there we go. Become a patron, right? Go to patreon.com / the Bitcoin podcast. Becoming a patron now will guarantee that you still get goodies from being a patron when we transition to hashing it out, right? So get in while the getting's good. It's
10 episodes. Oh shit, it's happening.
yeah, bro. We don't have a lot of
It's
time.
I
And
was-
Jesse
I
had a
kept
great
thinking it's like,
idea
it's so far in
where
the future, don't have to worry about it, but that's like soon.
I think it's in about 3 weeks because Jesse had a brilliant idea that we can start doing hashing it out, right? And then do these 10 episodes and they'll just be the lost episodes. We just release them as is. I want to
Whatever,
get to
we'll figure it out.
400 as a pride thing. Like, damn, we did 400 episodes of that. That's
Yeah, I
At
like
least
the
400
roundness of 400.
right. But I think we can continue on and just start getting warm with hashing it out and what the kind, get our style, get our cadence there.
I think
So
the
anyway.
lost episodes, it has a different feel, Corey. If you skim that one, you'll see that okay, we're kind of trying to go a little bit more technical. So the discussions
That
are
one? What am I skimming?
The last episode we released
Yeah,
when
the
you were
last
on when you were on blackout mode.
Of the Bitcoin podcast?
Yeah.
yeah. It's just titled
yeah.
the lost episode of the transition between TBP and HIO.
Okay, I'll listen to
Yeah.
it.
So join the Slack.
I'll criticize you.
Yeah,
We
criticize
have-
us.
very strong feedback from our community that joining the Slack is
Maybe,
one of the
bro.
most valuable things that they've ever done.
And that's not gonna
It is
change.
one of the. It's only going to get better because we're only getting better in this whole crypto shindig. So join the Slack. You'll be in the community of like the professionalism in there is super high, but we still get to just chill. There's a lot of people in there with a lot of skills, a lot of wisdom, a lot of experience. It's a great community. It's just the best hidden secret in crypto, and that's becoming more and more true every single week.
Every single week.
What else? Week. Also on the podcasting app, give us 5 stars. If you don't want to give us 5 stars, then I don't know why you go through all that trouble to open up your app and rate somebody. Give us 5 stars. All right, go to the next. What do we do next? What we got next? Is this shout out time? I've been shout outs in a long time. Oh my god! Shout out to Kanye West.
Turn out hot.
Oh, man.
Shout out to Kanye West for I guess existing now. He doesn't really do much else. Now this guy. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar. He just released a great song. Kendrick Lamar is
You watched
the
that
man
video I
won
put in the Slack?
Yes, the man won a Peabody. He's got talent.
That was good.
He's got
That
talent.
was good.
Is it a music video? What is it?
Yeah, it's a music video. He used
Yeah.
deepfake. The music video uses deepfake.
Interesting.
It's pretty.
Oh.
It's
Shout
pretty
out
trippy.
to,
Is it in general chat or where?
It's in
Random?
music.
it's in the music hashtag music.
You know when music
shout out
goes.
to
I didn't join that.
I don't know who that is, but I do know he's an activist and he's king of the light skins. What's his name?
King of the Light Skins.
Oh, he's from Grey's Anatomy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
No,
from
no.
Grey's Anatomy. I just call him King of the Light Skins. I don't
Jesse
know
Williams.
his real name. Jesse
Yeah.
Williams. There he is. Yeah, he's an
I only know that
activist.
because Alicia told me in the private chat.
He's a pretty handsome man.
Mm-hmm. Corey's throwing disclaimers out here. He's got Jesse Williams posters. That is Matt Damon. Shout out to you, Matt Damon, for ruining my internet life. I'm probably gonna get DuckDuckGo and change.
Martian was good
browsers
though,
because
so
of
I'll
you.
give him that.
It was a great movie. Shout out to Thor and also Thor.
Oh yeah, that was yeah.
And shout out to the whole wide smile, long neck Zoe Saldana. I hope you got out of that court case, girl.
She's
'Cause
got
you
neither in
still-
this one. She got a little bit of long neck. She got long vein in neck.
I mean, that is a long neck thing right there. I don't even have. How do you even get? Yeah, that shit right there. How do you even get that? What is?
Oh my
going-
god.
Oh no.
Anyway,
You had it. You had it. You just got to lean back.
Did you lean
Yeah,
back?
there it is.
Lean
back.
back.
There it is.
Wide smile,
it.
long neck. There we go. What long neck, Zoe? You're still being seeded from 2017 hype cycle, so you probably hate crypto. So I hope you hate it enough to hear about us one day. Who we've been giving you shout outs for 6 years.
How
Uh,
amazing would that be?
One day, maybe.
That would
Maybe.
be pretty dope, man.
I hope she's on your list with your boo, D, and that happens.
I would ask her if she's in an open marriage. I would do that. Had to whisper that one till the house gets built. All right, y'all. Play the outro.